All right, hey everyone, I'm Daryl Stringer. Welcome to episode 15 of the Builder Photography Business Show. This is where I help photographers like you with photography, marketing, and pricing. In this episode, we're going to look at how to fix your business if you're always like crazy busy. And then after that, we'll have an open question and answer time. So if you are watching live, drop any questions or comments below this video, and I'll share your comment during the show. Now, one problem I see with a lot of photographers is that they get too busy, but in a bad way, not in a good way. So their issue is not that they are struggling for clients, but they're struggling for time. A quick example, I was chatting online with a photographer recently. They said that they were way too busy to set a time to chat with me about their business. And at first, that kind of sounds great. We all think it's awesome when we're busy. But if you're a photographer and you're so busy that you can't spare the time to have a chat about your business, then that's something that we want to fix. And there are 4 questions that I'd ask a photographer in that situation. The first question is, are you super busy because you don't have a team around you, or maybe you don't have the right people in the team? Is it because maybe you struggle with time management, or you don't have the right systems in place in your business? 3, is it because you spend too much time shooting and editing? Or 4, is it because you're too cheap when compared with your competition? Now, if you're running everything beautifully and the work you send out is fantastic and you're priced really well, you should not be so busy working in the business that you can't fit in time to work on your business. I think a lot of photographers struggle with this, especially if they come from a background of maybe being an employee for other people. But when you've got your own photography business, you are not the photographer, you are the business owner. So your role as the owner is to manage the business, not do all of the functions that other people could do. Now, of course, when you're getting established as a photographer, you might need to do everything yourself because you're still building the foundation, and that's okay. But if you get to a point where you are swamped with work, then that says to me that you need to make some changes. So let's look at a few things that you can do. Firstly, if you're busy because you don't have a good team around you, then it might help to start thinking about your business like a bowl that can take on a certain amount of work, but there's a limit to what you can do. So maybe your bowl is quite small at first because it's just you in the business, but eventually you get to a point where you're consistently hitting 100% capacity in terms of the number of shoots you can do each week. Your bowl is overflowing or close to it. So that's when it's time to make your bowl bigger. And we do that by bringing on extra team members who can take on different functions within the company. And now when you do that, you have a bigger bowl so you can do more jobs. So if you are too busy to work on your business, perhaps you need to take a look at making your bowl bigger. And that might seem quite scary, but it will open up space and you'll be able to work on your business and really give it the attention that it deserves. And if you do that right, that will then lead to business growth. So you slowly fill up that new bowl that you've got. Now, if you've already added extra people and you're still busy managing your team, then maybe you don't have the right team members. So that might be worth looking at as well. So look at your hiring process, how you're training your team, and also look at what you're paying them and maybe think about increasing the salary or the percentage that they get so that you're attracting the top talent. So, what you want to do really is just expand the capacity of work that you can do by bringing in other people, and that will allow you to do more work or get more time where you're not shooting, but you're being a business owner. Okay, does that make sense? All right, let me know if you've got any questions there. Um, all right, the second reason you might be busy is because you're not that great at time management. Now, there are lots of reasons for this, but one of the common ones is that you're getting distracted and you find it hard to stay focused on the things you need to work on. So maybe you're editing a photo shoot, but then you decide to take a quick look at Facebook or YouTube, and like 40 minutes later, you realize you'd better get back to editing. Hands up if that's you. Like, I'm wondering if that might be the case for a few of you. Maybe when you're doing certain tasks, then maybe you need to shut down your browser until you finish the editing or whatever it is that you need to work on. Now, another time management solution is to put systems in place to simplify the things you do every day. So, you might look to simplify the booking process for your clients, photo delivery, maybe the posting of content on social media. Look at like everything you do and set up templates or automate certain actions so that things still happen, but maybe they happen quicker. I'm a big fan of automating the booking and payment process, and there are some great tools out there for doing this. Now, of course, it takes time at first to get those systems in place, but once things are operating well, then it can make a really big difference in terms of how smoothly your business operates. So it's well worth looking into. The third reason you're too busy could be because you spend far too much time on location, shooting a home, and then you spend hours and hours editing your images. Is that the case for some of you? I know this can be a really big problem because it's stopping you from taking on as many clients as you need to make your business viable. I mean, if it's taking you, say, 3 hours to shoot a home and 3 or 4 hours to edit, then you can only do one or maybe two jobs a day, and you're hardly going to have time really to work on growing your business. Now, the obvious thing here is that you just might need to get more confident in the way you shoot a home. So find a technique that is quick and that might involve shooting a mix of ambient exposures, maybe about 2 stops apart, that are blended together during the editing stage. And that can be quite a fast approach. On location, it can be really, really helpful. You get through a home really quickly. Or you might get comfortable with using multiple flash exposures. And that's a great way to shoot because I think the image quality is fantastic. It's a matter of, though, of doing lots of practice away from your clients so that you can move fast enough on site and you don't need to make too many shots to get it right. I see a lot of photographers seem to overdo this and they'll take way too many shots, and it's just not necessary. A process I like is to get a reading for inside the room and then underexpose by maybe 2 or 3 stops so that you're getting some ambient light but not too much. And then you want to take your interior shots and you might shoot with a flash on one side of the room, bouncing off the ceiling, then another shot with a flash on the other side of the room, bouncing off the ceiling. So that's your interior then lit up. But then if you have a view that you want to show, then for your next shot, you'll set your exposure for the view, depending on how strong you want the view to be. And then you fire your flash straight at the window to light it up, because that just makes it easier when editing. And then when you get the images back into Photoshop, you'll blend those 3 images just using layer masks. Now, using that method, you have full control, and you've only taken 3 exposures, so it's nice and quick. Shooting that way, I do 25 images in under an hour and then spend about the same amount of time in post. So roughly 2 hours per property. Now, that should be your goal. And if you're slower than about 25 images in an hour, then you really need to work on your speed. Now, does that all make sense? let me know in the comments if I need to clarify any of that. Okay? All right. Moving on to the final reason for photographers being overloaded with work. And I think this is the big issue, really, for a lot of you. Maybe you're too cheap for the value that you deliver. I mean, your clients are smart and they can see an awesome deal when it's in front of them. And if they can get your photos and your service at like a stupidly low price, then they will. And it can just overwhelm you with work. And you become like a low wage factory worker just churning through the photos. Now, the solution here is to raise your prices. And when you do that, it's either going to reduce the number of jobs you do each week, and you might even keep the same revenue coming in, which is great, or you're going to still be busy, but now you've got more money to play with. So you can afford to expand your team and outsource some of your day-to-day activities. And that's going to give you more time to work on your business. Of course, there is a risk involved in this, and I think that's why a lot of photographers hold back. But if you do this right, then things should be okay for you. So if you go back to episode 13 of my show, I spoke about how to get paid what you're worth. So have a look at that if you want to know more. But what's important here is that you increase your prices if you get too busy. All right, that's going to then allow you to work on your business and get the coaching you need, or work on your skills, or chase new clients that are able to pay more, or even work fewer hours so you can spend more time away from your business. Get out there with your partner or your kids, or go hiking, or do whatever it is that you want to be doing. It's just not going to, or it is going to give you those options to do that, instead of just being chained to your clients for like 16 hours a day or whatever it is that you do. All right, so now it's over to you. First of all, are you too busy working in your business that you don't have time to work on your business or get away from your business? And secondly, if you are too busy, what changes will you introduce to make things better? So do you need to expand your team, or get better at time management, spend less time shooting, or raise your prices? So let us know what you'd like to do, or if you're not sure, leave a comment or send a message to me outlining your situation, and I'd be happy to look at some ideas for you. All right, I'm just checking on some comments there. Someone commented saying they want to raise their prices for sure. Look, I think that's a really good place to start. I was commented to someone this morning on Facebook that you want to make sure that you're busy, or you're not confusing being busy with being profitable. So if your prices aren't yet high enough, maybe that's why you're so busy, and it feels like you're going really well, but maybe you're not. So definitely want to look at those prices for sure. Is there anything else there then that you need to be working on? Okay, go through that list, those 4 questions, see if any of those apply for you, and then leave a comment now, or if you're watching this later on. And let's see what it is that we can do then to make some changes in your business. Could be any one of those options. Maybe it's multiple options that you need to do to get things running a lot more smoothly. But there are things that you can do. So you don't have to settle for working crazy busy hours as a photographer. You can make a good income. You can run a business. You can have a family, and it can all work together. All right, I'm going to leave it there for now. Let me just bring up my details. If you want to send me a message, or if you want to see more of what I'm doing, that's where you'll find me. Build a Photo Business on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, or send me an email, Daryl@buildaphotographybusiness.com. All right, thanks everyone. I'll see you on the next call. Bye.